Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folk below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come your judgment day, and the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. So the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they killed. Came an answer from the kingdom, with our brothers we will share all the secrets of our mountain and the treasure buried there. Now the valley cries with anger, mount your horses, draw your swords, and they killed the mountain people, so they won their just reward. Now they stood beside the treasure on the mountain, dark and red, turned the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come your judgment day, and the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day, and the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away.
Okay, what I want to do in this video is focus on John Cotner. Many people believe that John Cotner is in fact Elvis Presley. Some of these people believe that the John Cotner recordings that you're getting ready to hear are the only Elvis recordings out there. I do not believe that to be the case. My belief is that yes, John Cotner is Elvis Presley, but this is one of many names that Elvis has been using to put out new music, new songs to the fans. And I believe with each name and new identity that he uses, he changes the style and the sound of the music and creates a personality for this character. And I believe he's been doing this all through the years. But I also believe when you listen to these new songs, he puts enough of himself in them that you can tell that it is in fact Elvis Presley. Now I remember hearing about this on the radio. They were talking about how he would use all these different names. And they said that some of these identities, some of these names would appear to be fighting. Like there would be problems. One would be a troublemaker or something. But there would be conflict in between some of the names that he's been using to put out new music. I remember them saying that on the radio. Now, many people believe that John Cotner is a troublemaker. And I believe that that is just part of the show that Elvis has been giving us. I believe that he's back, and the show is if you can see the truth in the music. See what he's been doing. At least this is what I believe. So, here it is, some new videos, new songs that have been released over the last several years in the social media using the name John Cotner.
All aboard!
Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Well, that long black train got my baby and gone. Train, coming round the bend. Train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. No, not again. Train, coming down the line. Train, coming down the line. Well, it's bringing my baby, 'cause she's mine, oh, mine, she's mine, oh, mine. Train, coming round the bend, round the bend. Train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. Never will again.
Oh, I wish I was in a land of cotton. Hold on there, not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Dixieland. I was born early on one frosty morn. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, I'm a steamer, baby. I'm gonna roll all over you. I'm a steamroller, baby. And I'm gonna roll all over you. I'm gonna inject your soul with some sweet rock and roll and shoot you full of rhythm and blues. I'm a seaman mixer, yearning, yearning, burning fun. I'm a seaman mixer, yearning, yearning, burning fun. I'm a demolition derby, a hefty hunk of steaming junk. I'm a steel, baby, when I roll all over you. I'm a steamroller, baby, I'm gonna roll all over you. Gonna inject your soul with some sweet rock and roll and shoot you full of rhythm and blues. I'm a napalm bomb, guaranteed to blow your mind. I'm a napalm bomb, guaranteed to blow your mind. I can have your love now, baby. There won't be nothing left behind. In the city of Chicago, on one cold, dark night, a blizzard was setting in, and a little boy was selling papers on the corner. The people were passing him by, trying to get home and out of the cold. And it was so cold, and he wasn't selling any papers, so he went up to a policeman and said, "Sir, you wouldn't happen to know where a poor boy could get a warm place to sleep tonight, would you? You see, I sleep in a box around the corner, just down the alley, and it gets awful cold in there at night. It sure would be nice to have a warm place to stay." The policeman looked down at the little boy and said, "Just go down the street to that big white house and knock on the door. When they come to the door, say John 3:16, and they'll let you in." So he did like he was told, and
went up and knocked on the door, and a lady answered the door, and he looked up and said, John 3:16. And she smiled and said, come on in, son. And she took him and set him down in an old split-bottom rocker in front of a big old fireplace, and then she went away. As he sat there a while, he wondered to himself, John 3:16, I don't understand it, but it sure does make a cold boy warm. Later she came back and asked him, son, are you hungry? And he said, well, just a little. I haven't eaten in a couple of days. I guess I could stand a bite to eat. So she took him into the kitchen, and she set him down at a table full of wonderful food. He ate until he couldn't eat anymore. And he sat there wondering to himself, John 3:16, I still can't understand it, but it sure makes a hungry boy full. Then she took him upstairs to a bathroom with a big old bathtub filled with warm water. As he soaked, he thought to himself, John 3:16, I don't understand it, but it sure makes a dirty boy clean. You know, I never had a bath, not a real one. The only bath I ever had was when I stood in front of an old fire hydrant and they flushed it out. The lady came and got him and took him to a room and tucked him into a big old feather bed. And she pulled the covers up around his neck and kissed him goodnight. And then she turned out the lights. As he laid there in the darkness and looked out the window at the snow coming down on that cold night, he thought to himself, John 3:16, I just can't understand it, but it sure does make a tired boy feel rested. The next morning she came back up and took him down to that same big table full of food. And after he had eaten, she sat down with the family Bible, and she said, son, do you understand John 3:16? And he said, no, ma'am, I don't. The very first time I ever heard it was last night when the policeman told me to use it. So she opened the Bible to John 3:16 and began to tell him about Jesus. And right then and there, next to that big old fireplace, he gave his heart and his life to Jesus. And as he sat there, he thought to himself, my, John 3:16, I don't understand it, but it sure does make a lost boy feel safe. You know, I have to confess, I don't understand it either, how God would be willing to send his son to die for me, or how Jesus would be willing to do such a thing. I don't understand it either, but it sure does make a life worth living.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. There's a man going around taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There will be a golden ladder reaching down. When the man comes around, the hairs of your arms will stand up at the terror of each sip and eat sup. Will you partake of that last offered cup, or disappear into the potter's soily ground? When the man comes around,
Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing. All the birds are marching to that big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree,
and the virgins are trimming their wicks.
and the whirlwind is in the thorn tree.
And it's hard for thee to kick against the pricks, till Armageddon, no shalom, no shalom. And the father hen will call his chickens home. The wise men will bow down before his throne, and at his feet they will cast their golden crowns. When the man comes around, whoever is unjust, let him be unjust still. Whoever is righteous, let him be righteous still. And whoever is filthy, let him be filthy still.
Listen to the words from written down.
When the man comes around,
Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing. All the birds are marching to that big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying.
it's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come.
And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree.
And the virgins, they're all trimming their wicks.
And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree.
And it's hard for thee to kick against the pricks,
When measured hundredweight and penny pound,
when the man comes around.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on it was Death, and hell followed with him.
They all walked away, nothing to say. They just lost their dearest friend. All that he'd said, now he was dead. So this was the way it would end. The dreams they had dreamed were not as they'd seemed. Now that he was dead and gone, the garden, the jail, the hammer, the nails, how could any night be so long? Then came the morning, night turned into day. The stone was rolled away, hope rose with the sun. star, the kings from afar, the wedding, the water, the wine. But now it was done, they'd taken her son, wasted before his time. She knew it was true, she'd watched him die too. She heard them call him just a man, but deep in her heart, she knew from the start, somehow her son would live again. Then came the morning, night turned into day. The song was rolled away, hope rose with the sun. Then came the morning, shadows vanished before the sun. Death had lost and life had won, for morning had come. Then came the morning, night turned into day. The stone was rolled away, hope rose with the sun. Then came the morning, shadows vanished before the sun. Death had lost and life had won, for morning had come. Why seek you the living amongst the dead? He is not here, for he has risen. One more phone call from a friend, just to say how hard it's been, how their hopes and dreams were scattered by the wind. They don't see that I'm there too, how it breaks my heart in two. Just to make it through this night is all I can do. Help me, Lord, need the sun to drive away the shadows in my mind. Help me, Lord, need someone to guide me when the path is hard to find. Even though the crowd surrounds me, I'm still standing all alone. And I know I can't go home. Help me, Lord. As I awake again today, and my pain won't go away, and the face I have to wear shows a smile. Lord, I feel so all alone. I just wish I could go home. I don't think that I can make it another mile. Help me, Lord, I need the sun to drive away the shadows in my mind. Help me, Lord, I need some
Even though the crowds around me, I'm still standing all alone. And I know I can go home. Help me, Lord. I feel so alone sometimes. The night is quiet for me. I'd love to be able to sleep. I'm glad that everyone's gone now. I probably won't rest tonight. I have no need for this. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. I need the sun to drive away the shadows in my mind. Help me, Lord. I need someone to guide me when the path is hard to find. Even though the crowds surround me, God, I am so alone. And I know I can't go on. Help me, Lord. Won't you come take me home? Help